Hello, this is RV Vagabond Jerry,
I know.
and today I am on Mount Desert Island, Maine. There's no desert here, but there is the Acadia National Park. And on the central west side of the island, there is an auto museum that you see here, which I'm going to show you. But this is a special day because they're having a car show out front where individuals can bring their cars and enter into their classic car competition. So I'm going to take a look around the contestant cars first and then go in and show you the museum. This is a very rare car called a Jensen brand. And it's called an Interceptor model, saloon style, whatever that means. Have you ever heard of a Jeepster? I like the white walls. 87 Porsche Carrera Targa. How do you like the body on this baby? And here, this car. Here's a make I've not heard of before. A small family sedan. There's a 56 Land Rover. Very basic controls. And there's a spare wheel. Now this is the 2006 Jaguar. And they made it since, I think they said something in the 1980s. It was after the E-Type and before the F-Type. Called an XKR. When I first saw this, I thought it was an MG, but it's a Morgan. Never heard of that. 57 Oldsmobile Super 88. Well, that's about it for the competition cars. Now let's go into the museum. Well, the museum here is not classic cars. It apparently is all antique cars. That's the Holzman 1901 Dion Motorette. 1903 Knox. 1909 Chase is the brand. And look at that engine. I think that's about as simple as an engine gets. That's a 1912 Maxwell. And here is a 1928 Ford Huckster. And here's a brand I've not heard of as well. American Traveler. From Indianapolis, they made 45,000 of them. They have a lot of very rare cars. 1900 Scheme. There's so many in here, I don't think I'm going to be able to go through them individually. I'll just pick out a few. That's an 09 Stevens Durgay. Tell you what, I'm just going to walk down the line here to show you these. It takes too much time to identify each one and it'll make for a really long video. 1909 Corbin, we've heard of that before. 1912 Thomas, and this looks like a really expensive car for those days. Here's a Ford model you really never hear of, I don't think. The Model K. And here is one of the very first cars ever built. 06 Ford, 04 Ford, 09, 1912, 1922, and this is a 1927. And electric cars like this have been around since the very early days. 1922 Detroit Electric. It's a 1910 White. And White was a very big brand in its days. 1904 Stanley Steamer, 1908 steamer, 1911 Stanley steamer, and this will carry, I guess, at least 12 people. 1913 Peugeot with a very nice wooden side. You've probably heard of the Polk Automobile Company. Well, they also made motorcycles. This one is called the Columbia model. This 1916 Saxon was driven in 1916 all over the country. In fact, here is the route that they took. 1910 Stoddard Dayton. I think it's amazing that they have these cars. You would have thought they would all have gone into the junkyard. Here's one from 2 centuries ago. That's a 1912. They got a lot of these really old motorcycles here. This 1901 Thomas put the engine way up there. And this one put the engine in the rear, above the rear tire. Seems like that would make sense, but then it's only a few inches from your butt. That's a Marsh brand. This is a 1909 Flying Merkel. Got a few toy cars. And there's a baby buggy. Fancy. 1907 and 1913 Indian. And these two are Indians. 1903 and 1910. Looks like they drove this so much the steering wheel broke down. 1908 Locomobile is the brand. I've seen those in museums. And here's some more little toy cars. That's an Edison photograph from 1919. 1909 Cadillac with a picnic basket. 1904 Oldsmobile. 1904 Pope Hartford. And this is the last one I'm going to show you. Searchmont. I'm not familiar with. But that looks really classic. Could you imagine driving that to your neighborhood in the first decade of the 1900s? Well, folks, this is quite an amazing collection of antique cars. Stop by if you're ever in Maine to visit Acadia National Park. Good day, folks.